I'll talk to Mason really quick. So Mason, dude, how is it playing with your dad? Like, okay, I just want to know this because check this out. Like, the guitar player and the drummer, they're so important. As far as like, everybody's important, right? But as far as like structuring and everything, because also when like a guitar player maybe writes songs, sometimes they're like, okay, I kind of wanted it this way or that way. How is it playing with your dad, dude? That's wild.
It's pretty cool. He lets me get really creative when I play, so I just write the parts that sound good, and it's really fun.
That's awesome. Has there ever been a influence or a band that your dad's tried to get you into that you weren't into? Like he's kind of like, oh, hey, you should listen to this, and you're just like, oh. Are you guys pretty similar as far as like musical taste and everything?
I think we're pretty similar. I mean, most of the stuff that he listens to, I listened to before, so I still listen to it.
That's awesome, dude. How old are you? You just turned 18?
I just turned 19.
Dude, rock and roll, dude. What was I doing at 19? I think shrooms.
I was screwing off. Definitely not kicking ass on the drums.
I think I was homeless. Yeah. Dude, you're doing great. Dude, that's awesome, dude. That's absolutely crazy. Dude, that's sick. I hope to play with my kids someday, you know. Like LeBron and his kid and Mo and his kid, you know. But Fred, talk to Fred here, dude. Dude, I see what you do on stage with your bass. You go on the keyboard too, right? Or like
the
synth, dude. So, dude, just from an outside perspective, I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but you kind of come off as a professional. Do you do professional music like in school or anything, or you did it before? But
I've kind of been like a closet musician for 40 years. I mean, I grew up with the whole want to be a musician professionally, but you know, life gets in the way. I think anybody out there listening knows the story. It's like you want to be a musician, but life happens, you know. And so, you know, in my private time, I guess I could just say I've run scales like a madman, and kind of nerded out on music theory to the point that I can play now a lot of different instruments. And as you mentioned, I get on the synth. I would say that this moment of joining Two Piece Face and jumping on keys is like the first time in my life that I've actually been able to, you know, fake it well enough to pull it off. So at this point, I'm pretty comfortable. But the first few shows, it was like, you know, is this right? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, hey man, hey. Sometimes you gotta battle it through like that. You know what I mean? Like there's always like people say you fake it till you make it, but the thing is, it's like it's not. It's so real. The thing is, it's like this. I wish there was a different term for it. It's like it's more like just be who you are. Like you went up there, dude, and like one of the reasons I asked you to be a professional because like you got insane stage presence, and I feel like when like you're fully in tune into your instrument, sometimes that like it's so easy to let loose, you know. Like I always tell like any bands I've ever been in, it's like guys, we have to practice to the point where we can have fun. We can't practice to the point where it's homework on stage.
Yeah.
You know, you're all going.
It's like, one of the things I really enjoy.
Oh, here's Mo.
Can you make that noise again, please?
No.
One of the things I really enjoy about being in this band is that everybody's kind of balls out, you know, and I think we all kind of have a don't give a shit kind of attitude, you know.
Oh, remember, no swearing on FM, by the way.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, take that back.
We'll edit that for content.
Yeah, I'll throw myself.
By the way, any views or opinions expressed here are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily represent KSQ's Community Radio. KSQ's mission is to produce community radio that empowers residents of the Rogue Valley to build sustainable and resilient communities through the exchange of ideas. All right, continue.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's really nice to be. I think it's really easy for all of us. Like I've been reflecting just recently on what makes this band pretty special, and it doesn't take a whole lot of us preparing. You know, there's been shows where he's showed me a song like on Wednesday or Thursday, and we kind of looked at each other like, should we do it this weekend? And we have, you know, and it's been a little bit iffy, but we pulled it off. And then the next time we play, we're just that much better. And I'm also more of a guitarist myself, so the bass is simpler for me, and that allows me to.
You just made bass players listening to this punch their radios. Joke, go ahead. But dude.
So we started this thing with Fred on guitar because Fred's a guitar player. He's a lead guitar player. I've been a bass player my whole life.
No way.
I'm not a guitar player, and I'm not a singer. So we sat down and we just started jamming this stuff out, and Fred looked at me and said, "It's going to be quicker if I just play bass." I was like, "All right," and here we are.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and you know, as I said, I've been reflecting on it, and it's like this formula. It almost can't fail because Mason, he's just a furious beast on the drums, and they live together, so they have that advantage. So there's a tightness, you know. Mm-hmm. And then he's writing the stuff, so of course he knows his part. And I just need to come in, and lucky for me, I'm such a nerd, you know, at running scales and knowing what. Not that he follows the rules all the time, you know. He's pretty inventive with the way he writes music, but I'm able to usually figure it out pretty quick. So it's really a low-calorie equation, and it almost can't fail, you know. I mean, every show we do is pretty dang tight, in my opinion, you know. I feel good walking away sweaty as hell, you know.
Dude, I like it, dude. Two-piece face, man. So, I know we're definitely gonna be playing a song, but before we get to like towards the ending of the interview and all that, I want to ask some influence questions, the type of things that kind of got your music, your heroes. Josh might have a question.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. So.
I got a couple on my end.
All right. You want to go first? Okay. All right. All right. We'll go to Mo here. Who do you remember the first time, like, you actually got into like the bridge that got you to like the music you listen to now and like being a musician? Do you remember like the first time somebody handed you a record, or the first time you went to a show, or do you have musicians that are family? Like, how did this whole? When did it click in your head that, man, I think I want to be a musician?
I grew up in church, so I saw live music every Sunday, every week at that, and it was like, yeah, this isn't, you know, I don't love this, but it was something. My mom listened to like Elvis and, you know, Bee Gees and things like that, so I grew up, and I'm not into that, but it was like, it kind of started this foundation. But in the mid-90s is when I started hearing stuff like Bush and Nirvana and things like that, and I was like, that's the kind of stuff that really caught my ear. And then it's just kind of cascaded into, you know, the 2000s and now. So you know, I started with Bush and Soundgarden and, you know, stuff like that. And,
Glycerin!
Yep. And we've all jammed. We've all played that song on guitar at least once.
Oh, we all know.
Yeah. That's where I started, but like, he's the one showing me a lot of this new stuff. Hey, check these guys out. This is sick. This is, you know, this is that. This, and, you know, so he's going through that phase of finding stuff, and there's so much music out there that it's just, you can listen to it for days on end and not hear the same thing twice. I started playing bass when I was 15. My folks got me a fretless bass, so I had to actually learn where to go. So I started straight on something like that, and then I picked up guitar and drums. I've just dinked around with stuff since my 20s, and, you know. But like with Dry Season, I was one of 5 dudes, so we had a collective writing situation. So somebody would come in with a riff, and we would hash it out and, you know, go through that whole process. Sometimes guys would show up with a whole song, and we'd just kind of do little tweaks to it. So that's a lot of my foundation as far as, I was a bass player, but I still would contribute ideas like, what if we did this, what if we did that, stuff like that. But now I'm writing most of the music. Or he'll play a beat and, hey, write something to this, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then, you know, that's where, you know, some of our stuff has come from too. And then Fred just ices the cake when he comes over and hears it. So it's
I like it. Next question for Mason here. So, dude, like, you're a drummer coming up in the scene. I remember when I was a guitar player coming up in the scene when I was 15. Dude, I was like, that was when I was 15, because Trivium and Avenged Sevenfold and all them, they're all my age, because I grew up in the metalcore era. And, like, I worshipped Avenged Sevenfold. When they came out with City of Evil, Awaken the Fallen, it was the hottest thing out. Nobody ever made it, you know. And then Trivium coming out, people were like, oh, I'm the whole Metallica thing. And then Bullet for My Valentine, multi-platinum artist out of Wales, Atreyu, and all that, man. I always wanted to emulate those people, and I got so influenced by that, dude. Like, you being in Two Piece Face, and now, all, you know, like your dad saying you're getting into all these bands, where do you see your style evolving to, and like, where do you see yourself in like 5 or 10 years? Kind of big question.
It's a little big. I mean, I would love to be in a touring band in 5 years, like going on tours and stuff. That's like one of my dreams, is to go on tour. So it doesn't have to be a big tour, but it's just the idea of traveling and people from other cities that you've never really been to, you know, and they actually pay to go to your show sounds really cool to me. But yeah, that's like, I would love to be at that point by then. And I mean, my style, I think I started with Breaking Benjamin, was like the first band that I got into when I was really little.
Cool.
And that I would just listen to the songs over and over again, and then figure it out. Since I play by ear, so I can just listen to it and figure it out now. But Breaking Benjamin was really what started that, and I still listen to Breaking Benjamin all the time.
Dude, that's awesome. That's a good band to start off, because like I'm a huge Breaking Benjamin fan, and I think like they have like a lot of dynamics in their drumming, where like they're filling it. It's kind of like what Metallica does, or what James does for like James's riff when he makes his vocals pop in certain areas, because you know when they write a lot, they're always like, you know, say your prayers, say your phone, say your, you know, it's always like a thing. Yeah. You know, dude, who is right now like 2 or 3 of your favorite drummers that you're seeing right now, and from right now and like what's going on in the scene right now, like who are like 2 or 3 drummers that inspire the hell out of you?
My number 1 favorite drummer is Joey Jordison.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. He's insane. That's what really got me into working on my double bass to like its max potential. And then Tim Young is also one of my favorite drummers. He played in Divine Heresy and Morbid Angel, a little bit of Westfield Massacre, but he is super cool. He's really fast, but he also just has that groove element, and it works so well.
That's awesome, dude. Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome, dude. And you got the world ahead of you, man. You know, I was trying to think if there's any advice. What would you give? If he wasn't your son? What would you give advice to as a 19-year-old getting into music? Mo. Sorry, we're switching mics here.
I don't know.
No.
Don't quit Two Piece Face. Just playing Two Piece Face. How about that? No, it's just he's doing it. Like I don't really know. I mean, we're kind of in Southern Oregon, which is kind of, you know, we're in the middle of a bunch of cool stuff, so we have access to it. So I mean,
I love living here.
Yeah, we're trying to play out of town as much as we can and meet bands and trade shows and do all that stuff. So, you know, just playing out as much as we can.
I like it. Next question for Fred here. Want to throw this one? Yeah.
Can I share?
Yes, go ahead.
A moment that like really struck me.
You know what? I would love it because I saw it boiling over there.
Yeah.
What is the one what is the one moment that struck it for you in your head where you're like, I love music and I want to be a musician, and wow, this is incredible.
Yeah. As I was listening to them talk, I couldn't help but remember back in the MTV, like when it was really MTV. I was kind of drifting through different artists. Like I think my friend and I decided the Jay Giles band was our band, but you know what I mean? I was like not really that crazy about them, but I had this hang up about like, you know, Black Sabbath, Ozzy, stuff like that, because I just heard from, I guess, the media and people, you know, Devil Worshipper and stuff. And my cousin Reagan heard me talking about that, and he's like, okay, just wait, you know, and he was, in his mind, he's like, I'm going to get a cassette, I'm going to let you listen to Blizzard of Oz, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I had no idea because, honestly, when people talked about Ozzy at that point, to tell you the truth, the image I had in my head about the way he sang was actually not even possible yet until, like, Pantera. that's how I thought he would be screaming, and he's actually more singing, you know. Ozzy's not like, you know, Pantera level screaming, you know what I mean? That was what, decade before that. But anyways, when he put on I Don't Know, I was like, man, that doesn't sound like evil, you know what I mean? That actually has kind of a positive message. But then Crazy Train came on, and it was like one of the first times in my life that I looked at my arms and every hair was standing up. I mean, it was just so awesome. And I was like sold at that point. I was all done being afraid of this, you know, Ozzy music. And then, of course, I got into it and realized that a lot of the things that you hear about Ozzy are just blown out of proportion as far as, you know, as Ozzy has said, because as being a fan, I've read a lot of stuff, his commentary and stuff, and he says, you know, for example, Vincent Price has played the devil in a lot of movies, and nobody follows him around accusing him of being, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I really ended up really getting into kind of the drama and the power of riffs like Crazy Train, and that, of course, led me into kind of peeling back the layers of Black Sabbath and, you know, getting into that. And then the first time I heard, I listened to Live Evil, which was their live album with Ozzy, but not with Black Sabbath. I got used to hearing all those songs like Iron Man live, and then when I heard the studio version, again, my hair stood up because it's so much more powerful, you know? So, yeah, I've always kind of been into that, ever since that point, been into that kind of powerful riffs and stuff, you know, hard rock.
I love it. I love it.
Are you talking about that live album he did with like it was Tommy Aldridge on the drums?
Yeah, and the guy. It was actually the guitarist from not REO Speedwagon, but like that Still Rockin' America.
Oh, Night Ranger.
Oh, yeah, that's
Night Ranger. Yeah,
it was that guy playing the part of Randy Rhoads.
No way.
Yeah,
I gotta look that up.
Great album.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's incredible.
But of course, I like all kinds of music, and being a guitar nerd, I mean, Al Di Meola is one of my favorites. You know, we could go on and on. All the big names, Jimmy Page, you know, Tony Iommi, of course. So yeah, Crazy Train though struck me like lightning.
That's awesome. My very first song ever was Flying High Again, and that was my introduction to any sort of rock or heavy metal.
Super awesome.
Oh yeah, I grew up like my first language was Spanish. So I didn't know English till I was 6. And so I grew up, and it wasn't until I was 6 to where I got my first white friend. And it was actually my first, it was just...
Token.
And he took me over to his house, and I remember we were hanging out, and I heard somebody shredding in the background, like across the house. And I was like, what's that? He's like, oh, that's my dad playing. And we're first graders, so I was like, can we go watch? And he's going in there, he's all dun, 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 and I'm going in as he's doing the ascending scale, and I'm just like, oh my god, you know, yeah, that's awesome, dude. Awesome. I love it.
Hell yeah, man.
We
still
No, I want to go to
I got my question, but they're more towards the end because, you know, they're those...
I'm at the end questions now.
They're non-serious questions.
I'm about to hit him with the horror and the zombie questions, so...
Perfect.
All right, you want to do it after that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll start with Fred on this one. Fred, you're in a zombie apocalypse. You only have one weapon to destroy the zombie horde. It can't be the cure or a nuke. What is your one weapon?
Gosh.
What is it?
Pickaxe? I don't know. I mean, I watched The Walking Dead, and you don't want your weapon to fail, so you got to pick something simple.
I like
a
it.
Screwdriver.
All right. What about you, Mason? One weapon to destroy the zombie horde.
You're talking like whole
you got to protect your family here,
one
dude.
at a time over here.
And imagine you're playing Black Ops, and there's a box there, and any weapon can come out that you want. It doesn't have to be from the game, but just in general.
Smallpox.
I mean, they're already dead. But.
I'm gonna go lightsaber, but it's gotta be red.
I like it.
I think that's the first time I've heard lightsaber.
Wait, you were here last week, huh?
Yeah, I was.
You were?
Yeah, we had Kyle here last week.
The week before that, somebody said lightsaber.
Yeah, I was playing a show like 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, you were. Yeah, the Total Chaos show.
Okay, so second time someone said lightsaber.
All right, what about you, Mo?
All right, I'm going Killdozer.
I like it. Killdozer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a.
It's a good
You
one.
be safe.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
I've gotten tanks, but never Killdozer.
Well, you know, it's near and dear to my heart.
All right. We're gonna start in reverse order. Mo, what is an artist or a band that you listen to a lot by yourself that's kind of way opposite than maybe your bandmates would expect? Maybe like a special thing. Like me, I listen to Sia a lot, and I sing Sia loud in my car. You know, I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brake. I listen to pop music more than metal half the day. But no, I don't. I'm metalhead, yeah. What do you listen?
He does.
But what,
I heard you bumping that when you pulled up in the parking lot, so
Oh, the screaming?
Today.
I was playing trivia.
I think it was Miley Cyrus is what I was hearing.
Dude, I don't need no man to give me flowers.
Yeah. This feels like a Taylor Swift type setup question. You're trying to get me to say that, aren't you?
No, hey, I like swing up on the Maggie twilight, kiss me.
Sixpence None the Richer?
Is
I
that
don't know
good?
why I know that.
Yeah, you listen to them.
No.
Oh, I didn't even know the
Red
name.
light going off in the corner.
He knew that.
And here you were looking for Taylor Swift to be the.
All right, well,
Yeah.
who's an artist you listen to that's furthest from Two Piece Face?
I don't. Like, everything I listen to is kind of in my lane. Chevelle, Breaking Benjamin, Flaw, Crossfade. I got 36 Crazy Fists going. I'm starting to listen to some of the newer stuff, like, and I'm drawing a blank.
Knock Loose, Rubicon.
Like Volumes and Motionless in White. I'm calling this stuff new. It's new to me, so like you guys are probably like, that came out when I was, this.
No, I'm older. I'm older than Chris Motionless.
Okay.
So
I
I'm 35. So Chris Motionless is like probably like 31.
Gemini Syndrome, stuff like that. I like good songs. Like if the song speaks to me, I can listen to it over and over and over. I listen for good parts and good melodies and harmonies and riffs and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's what catches my ear. That's just what I want to listen to all the time.
Okay.
So.
Fred, what about you, man? An artist that you listen to furthest from Two Piece Face. What is your guilty pleasure?
Oh, let's see. Honestly, if we're just going for most distant way out there, it'd probably be this cassette that I got from some people from Kuwait.
I like
And
it.
it's just like Kuwaiti music. I don't know what they're saying.
I love it,
You know?
dude. Hey, I'll tell you this. At least like 2 or 3 times a week, I listen to a lot of Indonesian bands. Yeah.
Another
And-
band I listen to, it's a Danish band called Unterbein or something like
Okay.
that. And yeah, it's just like, I don't know what she's saying, but it sounds cool. Some female singer.
I was listening to some Russian radio a while back and
Oh,
some
it's
poppy
Russian.
stuff,
Oh,
and I
yes.
couldn't tell obviously what they were saying. Like, this is catchy, okay. Kind of getting me with this.
Bloodywood.
We started listening to that.
Yeah, these are awesome.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
they hit. It's
Oh, yeah.
sick.
Here you go.
All right, your turn.
All right, Mr. Mason. What is one artist you listen to furthest from your band you're in right now?
I was pondering this entire 5 minutes because I don't know. I also kind of stick to my genre, but I do enjoy listening to baby metal.
Yes.
The music is actually pretty complicated and fun to play. I'll be honest.
Hey, no, 100%. Hey, it's 100% complicated because I've done research on baby metal for the last 5 years because I'm a reviewer and a reactor. I've done 65 baby metal videos, including their 1-hour documentary. So the band they're playing with is the band's called the Kami Band. So the Kami Band is made up of the best musicians in all of Japan, all coming together to play behind baby metal. So it's because the 3 girls started off singing and doing all that and the choreographing and all that, and the Kami Band was already one of the most biggest bands in all of Japan, and these guys were like rivaling the Dragon Forces and all that. You know what I mean? Like they're playing like the crazy sweeps and the taps and everything and all that, and the drummer was just like 220, 250 at all times. You know what I mean? So like, and then they put them together and they made baby metal. So yeah. I 100% agree. You sometimes listen to some baby metal and like the musicianship is insane, you know. And some people give them crap. They're like, oh, they're manufactured, you know. But the thing is, it's like, I don't know. And this, like, any musician that is up on a stage or did anything, like, there's always been a sacrifice and they worked hard. So you always just learn to, you know, people can hate baby metal, but you got to respect their hustle. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, they're this and that. It's like, yeah, but they just toured with Deathlock. They're playing Vakken, Rock and Ring, Supersonic in Japan, you know, Louder, all that. So it's like, you know, and they started off when they were like 13, dude, and now they're like 21, 22. You know, people are like, oh, they're just little girls. Like, no, they're women. But no, I think that's awesome. Josh?
All right, so I got 2.
2? All right, we'll start off on Mason.
All right. You're in a horror movie. You get to pick which horror movie villain would you have kill you, and how would they do it?
Nice.
Oh my gosh, interesting.
I know there's so many choices.
You can go. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna.
Do you need to skip?
No, I was gonna say there's a path that come around. You can go.
I would probably either do the Predator or Bosk, because you'd have to like, they'd actually give you a chance to try to defend yourself.
Yeah.
But like, especially Predator, you're getting skinned alive. Basically, that's metal. A metal way to go out, I guess.
Do a metal scream.
All right. We'll go to Fred next on this one.
I don't know if I had enough time to think. Ways to
Okay,
die.
I'm ready.
Yeah, go for
All
it.
right, go for it.
Ramo's all ready for
Yeah.
this.
So, my child stole my answer, and it's definitely the Predator, because I was a kid when that movie came out. So that was like the first movie. I went from E.T. to the Predator. So like,
Whoa.
alien-wise, we did that jump.
This escalated quickly.
It scared the crap out of me. And so if I have a nightmare to this day, the thing that's killing me is the Predator. Like, that's the only thing I have nightmares about. So,
I feel that.
yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. It shows you how old I am, too, so that's good. All right, you ready, Freddie?
No, but
No, is Freddie
I know Alien's got to be
Alien's a
the
good
one
one.
that kills me. Yeah, so I'd pick Alien, I guess, because that just freaks.
Is that the one? Is that the one that comes right out of your stomach?
Yeah.
Like
It's the chest.
Jamie Lee Curtis, right? Was that her in that
No,
one?
it's Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver.
I can never tell those two apart.
Well, you know.
Sigourney Weaver.
Do all white chicks look the same to you, Omar?
No. Oh, no. Any views or experiences expressed here are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily represent KSB. No, they don't.
Just gonna need disclaimers.
Yeah, I wasn't in the mic that time, so.
No, it's alright. Alright. Got another what?
All right, I got one more question. Kind of along the same lines but different. So I've asked this before, but I'm gonna switch it because a lot of times it's hard to answer if you're just not a fan. But whether you're a fan or not, let's say you're suddenly find yourself transported from this station to an alternate universe, and suddenly you're getting ready to walk through the curtains as some random professional wrestler, and the promoter's saying, "Get out there and figure out a finishing move." What would your finishing move be? How would you destroy your opponent?
Oh my gosh.
I like it.
Huh.
Can I go first?
Whoever
Go for it. Give us some time to think.
Alright, I'd love to do like who was the person that used to carry him on their shoulders? He used to rock them, and that was like a special.
Luger.
Yeah, he'd get him. He'd go.
Torture rack.
Yeah, the torture rack. I would do the torture rack.
All right, I just want to be in the first Spider-Man movie with Randy Savage, and I just want to hear, "I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime."
You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I say that to my employees when they try to clock out early. So,
I got you for 3 minutes.
yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a good answer.
Good answer.
All right. I guess for me, it would be my finishing move would be I'd be fighting my dad, and I would impale him on my guitar because he smashed my guitar when I was like 18. And
Oh
So
no.
this is a
I
grudge
really
match.
hold
Yeah.
that against him. Yeah.
Hey, this is the metal mixtape, not Montel, dude. I'm just joking.
Next.
You don't know what Mason doesn't know what Montel is. I think he was like 3.
What's going on?
Remember Montel Williams? Yeah.
Ricky Lake.
Well, guys, thank you guys so much for being on the metal mixtape. We're gonna play your song, Fight This. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this song, and also I remember when this music video came out. And it was awesome. I like that you guys. Did you guys do it at the Sound Lounge?
No, we did it at our studio.
Oh, our studio. Okay. So tell me a little bit about this song and what you guys sing about. Like, what's the point behind this song?
Oh, good. So those are about my feelings, obviously. No, I'm learning how to write songs. Like, that's one of the first songs I wrote for this group, which this wasn't a group at that point. I got a 7-string and I was messing around with it. So that's kind of what came out of me dinking around on a 7-string guitar that I had no idea what I was doing, because I'm going from 4-string bass to 7-string guitar. So I was like, well, what are we doing with all these little strings? So the more songs I write, like as we progress, like our stuff we're writing now is what are we doing here is a lot different than the stuff I wrote back then, just because a lot of that I was writing on acoustic guitars in the bedroom, just kind of figuring out what I'm doing. Now I'm writing stuff strictly on electric and getting a heavier sound to it. So, So that song was some experimentation. My lyrics are about, I don't know, I'd say 40% nonsense. Like I'm hearing.
We're also
Stop interrupting me with that. Put that down.
Damn it.
Yeah, so
Stop it. Come on.
stop it. Come on.
It's not a tumor.
Not the tumor. Yeah, so I just kind of take situations or things that I feel and I just kind of blow them out of proportion and add some nonsense and things that kind of sound clever. Like a lot of my songs are just that.
I like it.
There's little nuggets of things that it'll catch people's ears. Like, what does that mean? But I was like, yeah.
I like it. Where can everybody find Two-Piece Face? Like, if they want to come to a show, they want to listen to your music, they want to get some merch. Like, where can people find you, man?
So we're based out of Grants Pass. So like tomorrow we're playing at the Hall with Yabro, which is a drummer from Dry Season that I used to play with. So we're doing a show together, which is really fun because Cake is kind of his mentor as far as drums go, because he watched him playing drums growing up.
He also produces your music.
Yeah, we do our recording over there with those guys too. So
awesome.
All our stuff is on all the streaming services and social media sites and all that fun stuff.
I like it. Any final shout outs before I let you go? We'll start off with Mason. Anybody want to say hi to or bye to or anything? Any final words for your fans?
Say hi to your dad or something?
Yeah, say hi to me.
You guys are all awesome. I love performing for you guys.
Rock and roll. What about you, Mr. Fred?
I claim credit for that awesome video. Everybody gets credit for their part, but I handled the camera and edited it and did the AI morphing and stuff. And I do dabble with the idea that if there's another band out there that likes that video style and wants me to, produce something like that, I'd be into that. Music and creative stuff like video, I wish that was my full-time job, you know what I mean? And I love being a Two-Piece Face.
I love it. Fred, Mo, Mason, you guys ready to play some Fight This?
Oh, do I get to say anything at the end there?
Oh, your shout outs?
My shout outs, yeah. So I've been in the scene since about 1997. Yeah, Southern Oregon, yeah, when you guys were all in diapers or...
I was 8.
Yeah, so you were definitely in diapers.
Wait, 1997?
That's some late.
Yeah, I was 8 years old.
Yeah, so I've seen the scene, ebb and flow throughout the years. Venues come and go, bands come and go, things like that. And after Dry Season, I took a lot of time off, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to do this again. But it's been really cool to get back into it and meet people. Like, there's a lot of cool people in this scene, and it's just been cool, like, fostering those relationships and just doing stuff like this, meeting you guys, meeting other bands, going out of town. We went to Chico and had some guys just ride with us, and we had an absolute blast just driving down and just shooting it and having
I love it.
Having all kinds of fun, and just being stuck in the like you were talking about being at work every day. It's like I did the same exact thing, like the work week, the drive, and just doing all that, and then being able to cut loose and just have fun with music. That's
nothing like it.
Yeah, there's nothing better than that. So.
And we want to try to get up to Portland if anybody's got any connections.
You want to book us in Portland?
Yeah.
We haven't played there yet. So.
I'll give you a promoter up there. She's
Sweet.
super cool. I send everybody up there.
Nice.
I don't know a lot of people, but I know like one nice person over there. They'll help you out.
There's one nice person in Portland that checks out.
All right. Thank you so much, Mose. Thank you so much, Fred. Thank you so much, Mason.
Yeah, thanks for
Please
having
go
us.
check them out at the hall tomorrow if you
Yeah.
want to go check them out.
We're gonna do there's a skate jam coming up with a bunch of bands next month. So we're doing that. That's on April 19th. We'll be at Rock Ferry April 12th, and then Roseburg on May 3rd. Red Bluff on the 17th. So
I love it. I love it, dude.
If I'm correct, aren't we with you guys on the 12th at Rockefeller?
yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Holy moly,
Wow.
holy Batman. All right, Fred, Mo, Mason, thank you guys so much. Everybody, please go check them out everywhere.